part of my story is that at the age of 6, my mother, my sister, and I, we came from Haiti to the United States. And while the United States brought about many opportunities, it actually also brought about many challenges. Because when you look different, when you talk different, people treat you different. I believe that we all have a migration story. And the fact of the matter is that life will force you to move. Life will force you to move. So you can either move by choice or you can move by force. So life will force you to move. So the thing is, you have to keep it moving. And that's the very reason why I created What's the Move podcast. Because I believe that there are a lot of people that they have talents, that they have gifts, but maybe you're feeling like, I feel stuck. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know what my next move is. And hey, let me tell you, you don't have to have it all figured out. But the commitment that you have to make is you have to make a commitment to keep on moving. And the thing is, the first thing about moving forward is actually taking the first step. Taking the first step simply means that, hey, I don't have it already, but I'm moving in that direction. So with a migration story, in a migration story, as soon as you move somewhere, and we all know what it feels like to be the new person. We all know what it feels like to be the new kid at school or the new person at the job or even the new employer. The first thing when you get to any environment is first you will face some challenges because things are not how you probably expected it or things don't look how you wanted it to look. And that's the same way with life, that no matter what season you find yourself in, no matter what thing that you're about to enter into, not everything's going to look how you want it. Not everything is going to look how you dreamed it. But the first thing you have to do is first you just have to show up. You have to show up. And when you show up, yes, you will experience some challenges. Yes, you will face some hardships. But the thing is, you can't just go around it, but you have to go straight through it. You have to learn how to navigate in the tensions of life. And when we talk about moving, when we talk about moving forward, that's all it is. It's knowing that in life you will have conflict. In life, you're either entering a problem, you're leaving a problem, or about to get ready, or even in a problem, But you can't focus on the things that are happening around you. You actually have to focus on what's happening within you. When I was a little kid, we used to play outside all the time. And, I'd love to play outside with my friends. But every single Saturday in a Haitian household, you always had to clean. And I remember my mother, she said, hey, Dennis, come inside before, you have to come inside before you play outside. And I'm saying it really nicely, but she didn't say it like that. And I remember one day just grabbing all of my clothes. And as I grab all my clothes, I just start throwing it into the closet. I start throwing it into the dresser. And I start throwing things under the bed. And from the exterior, it looked great. I ran outside. I said, okay, Mom, peace. I'm out of here. I did what I had to do. Then I get outside and I'm playing outside. And a loud yell, I hear my mother's voice. And at this moment, I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble. She calls me. I get back into my room and every single thing is dumped out. I'm not going to tell you what happened next because it was pretty embarrassing. But it's the same thing with our life. I think a lot of times when we have a mess, we're just stuffing things into the closet. We're stuffing things underneath the dresser. We are putting perfume on dead corpses. And let me tell you, we are putting Band-Aids on broken bones. So here's what I'm saying. In life, you will face conflict. In life, things will happen to you. But instead, you have to learn to face it head on. Because what happens is when you learn to confront conflict, and let me be very clear, you will never be able to conquer anything if you don't want to confront it. You can never conquer anything unless you confront it. So the first thing is when you learn to confront conflict, then that mess that you just had now becomes your message, as I talked about before. That mess becomes your message. That pain becomes your platform. And now you have purpose. Now you know why you went through what you just went through. So now after you confront your conflict, the next thing that you have to do is you actually have to learn how to cultivate connections. What do I mean by cultivating connections is, hey, you are not the only person that went through what you went through. There are other people that have conquered the same thing that you conquered. And there are also people that are in the middle of their struggle, not knowing what to do. And instead of being silent, you can actually become a voice to that person. You can become a voice to the voiceless. You can become hope for those who don't have hope. So that's how you have to learn how to cultivate connections with people. Maybe you ask people their story, and maybe you share with people your story, and you begin cultivating connections. And when you confront conflict, when you cultivate connections, then you begin to create a community. And when you create a community, I always say this, that the best life happens in community. That's why people love sports. That's why people love going to the bar and drinking together, because people love community. Because you know deep down in your soul you were not made to live alone. And then when you create a community, when you're able to confront conflict, when you're able to cultivate connections, when you're able to create a community, that's what I call a movement. So now you just went from move, and now you have a movement. And that all started with this simple thing, is being forced to move, and confronting your conflict, and cultivating connections, and creating a community. So hey, I don't know, how you feel about your life. I don't know if you feel stuck or not. But let me just tell you, start with one step. Start with taking that first step. Because again, things won't always look how you want it to look. The situation might not always be perfect. But hey, it's not about perfection. It's actually about progression. So learn to move, learn to do what you can with what you have. And like we always say here, you don't have to stay where you started. You don't have to stop where you are. There's no better time than now, and there's no better person than you. And that's the move. Hey, if you enjoyed that piece of content that you just watched, hey, I'm going to ask you, like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue pushing this message forward. Thanks for watching.